Hey, good morning, guys. This is the Ultimate Fishing Addict here. A while back I bought these two cameras. One is the Ion Air Pro Series camera. The other one is the Vivitar 786 HD camera. I told you when I bought them, I've had them both about 2 months now, and I told you when I bought them about the same time. I'd use them for a while and then do a review on them and let you know what kind of picture they take, what kind of audio quality they had, and just the general functions on them, how they worked. And so here's my review on them. Let's start with the Vivitar first. This is, like I said, is the Vivitar 786 HD. There's about 3 different models of this, I believe. Let's start with the bundle that it came with when I bought it. I bought this at Walmart. It was $59.95. It comes in kind of a little bundle package when you buy it. You get the camera, you get the waterproof case, you get the handlebar mount, which I have on here right now. You get a helmet mount, some straps that go with it. I believe there's a wrist strap that comes with it, or an arm strap, and some Velcro and adhesive stickies that go on the bottom of the helmet mount that you can have extra security when you have it mounted to the top of like a bicycle helmet. And it comes with a wristwatch type remote. And as you can see on the front here, I'll try to keep my fingers out of the viewing window here. On the front here, it has this little black dot. That is your remote pickup for the wristwatch that comes with. So this looks like a wristwatch and has like 3 buttons on it that turns it on and off. Or you can switch from camera mode to video mode with it. Just by pushing the buttons on your wrist, on your remote. The functions on this are pretty simple to use. It has the on and off button. It's got a functions button. And on the side here, you have one little button here that runs your menu. You can go in there and adjust it between 720 and 1080. You can reformat your SD card. You can set brightness, you can add some simple effects to it. There's a few other functions I can't think of right now. Then you have your up and down arrows that runs your menu functions. On this side here, you've got your plug-in port for your charger, and you've got your micro SD card slot. Like I said, it is a micro SD card on this one. On the bottom of this camera, you've got your standard tripod screw-in mount port for your big tripods or your little one like I have hooked here to the Ion Pro. Then on the back of this camera, there's a 2-inch viewing window. Now this is not a touch screen. I think there's one model of this that does have a touch screen. This is just a viewing window for your menu. It's not a touch screen. But you can do playback on this and see what you've recorded, see what pictures you've taken. And now this comes with fixed wide-angle lens, and it is a very good wide angle on this. Actually, let's go through the pros of this camera first, and then we'll go through some of the cons on it for what I think are the cons on it anyway. The pros of it is it does have a nice wide angle lens. I've tried it on numerous different shots and different types of situations. It takes a great picture from just a short distance away. It also has really good picture quality. Picture quality on this, I was pleasantly surprised that it was that good a quality for what I paid for it and what it was. that has on the top here, it has your built-in mic ports. You see there's three, I don't know if you can see that on the camera or not, there's 3 little holes there. That's your built-in mic. The mic does pick up pretty decent from, say, I've used it up to about 6 feet away, and it picks up pretty decent, you know, pretty good quality, or not quality, but pretty good volume. It, like I said, it does come with a waterproof case, so that's a pro for it. You know, you can put it in that waterproof case and stick it underwater and take an underwater release shot if you wanted to. The only thing about it is when you have it in the waterproof case, you lose your mic function, obviously, because it's sealed tight. So that's the pros of this camera. It has a really good picture, does have decent volume when you're talking on it. It does pick up some wind noise, just like every camera that has a built-in mic like this. Let's go through some of the cons on it now. One of the major cons for this camera is the audio quality. Somewhere in the background on the microphone of this camera there is a popping, grinding sound. Now it's fairly faint and it's not going to like override your video, but you will hear a popping, grinding sound. And if you're using this for an extended period of time without talking, you're going to hear what sounds like a counting off sound, almost like a ticking sound in the background on your audio. And you know, if you're going to use it that without any sound or any talking, it's fairly silent, you're going to have to go in on your editing program and turn off your background music and edit that out, because your viewing public will hear this in the background of this audio, because I have recorded and put it on the computer to edit it and thought, what in the world is that? And I realized that it's in the background of that microphone built in. Somehow when they manufactured this camera, they really did a poor job on the quality on the mic. The other thing that is probably a con for this camera is the battery. And I forgot to touch on the battery. It does have a built-in battery. It cannot be removed. It is internally built in, so you can't replace your battery if you run your battery down while you're out. It just has to be recharged. Comes with a recharging cord in the kit that when you get it, but like I say, you cannot change this battery out. It, in my opinion, has a very low battery runtime. I'm going to say somewhere in the neighborhood of about a half an hour. If you were to leave this on continuously for half an hour, you're going to start getting this shutting off for low battery. That's happened to me more than once. In fact, one video I made, I put in there, I apologize that, you know, these clips were like 3 seconds because this thing would come on, shut off. I didn't realize what was going on, realized the battery had that short of a runtime. So that's a downside to this camera. But overall, you know, if we were gonna put it on, say, a 1 out of 10 scale, I probably wouldn't give this camera more than a 5. You know, you can give it perks for the price. It's $60. You can give it perks for the wide angle, the quality of the picture, and the fact that it does come with a waterproof case. I have not tried that waterproof case underwater. I've had it in the waterproof case on the boat just in case there was splash or I knocked it off or something. But as far as trying it underwater, I have not tried it underwater. I needed to do that probably before I reviewed it, but I'll do that soon. If it, you know, if it leaks, it's going to be ruined, so I'll let you know about it. But that's kind of this camera. You know, it's a mediocre, okay camera. I mean, it does take a decent video. It does take decent still pictures. But I wouldn't give it anything for the audio on it. Stinks. Battery time is really low on it, and you know, battery time is important when you're out taking video, because a lot of times a lot of us shoot a lot of video and they edit it down. I know I do, and I know some of you do. So anyway, that's the Vivitar 786 HD camera with the waterproof case and the helmet mount, and like I said, a wristwatch remote that comes with this. I couldn't find it at the moment, and I know it's out in my tackle somewhere to show it to you, but it just looks like a black wristwatch, and it has the on and off buttons and the functions on it. One thing about the wristwatch remote, you cannot, if this camera is completely off, you cannot turn the camera on from the remote, which I thought was a drawback. Didn't make much sense to me why they would make it to where you would have to manually go turn the camera on. Now you can turn the camera off from the remote on your wrist, but you cannot turn it on from completely off. Now if the camera is on and you've got several functions where you can set it to time out, like in a minute, 3 minutes, and 5 minutes. If the camera's already on standby mode and hasn't shut off on you, you can go ahead and hit your hit your record button, and it'll start recording immediately, or it'll take a still picture. Alright, let's move on to the Ion Air. This is the Ion Air Pro Series. Now there's about 3 different models of these. This particular one is the, I'm going to go in there and screw this from the tripod mount here. We don't need the tripod mount in the picture necessarily. I just had it hooked there today when I was out fishing. I can just kind of show it to you better that way. Like I said, this is the Ion Air Pro Series. Yeah, there's about 3 different models of these. This one here is the Wi-Fi enabled model, Bluetooth function. This is also a very simple to use camera. You got your, on the top here, you got on and off button, and you've got your stop and record button. It just slides back and forth. I like the ease of use on this camera. There's not a bunch of buttons to worry about. You just, if it's turned completely off, all you do is reach up and flip that record button forward, and about 1 second later it's recording for you. So if you've got it hooked on the tripod, or even if you have it on your chest mount, or you can put it on a helmet mount, same as the other camera, you can just reach up, flip that button forward, and it's easy to find, it's easy to feel. If you've got it on a chest mount, you don't even have to look down. You just flip it forward, it starts automatically recording. Now, once the camera's on, you can also turn it on and off from the on and off button here. Once it's on, all you do is just push that button down once to take a still picture. This takes a picture, I believe the megapixels, the still picture megapixels is 5 on this. This also will shoot in 1080 or 720 at 2 different settings on the frame per second, 30 or 60. It has a really good, also has a really good wide angle lens. Most of my videos are shot, the main camera work is shot with this camera. It has a super clear picture for what this camera is. I paid literally $30 for this camera. I'm just amazed. I'm still amazed at the quality of the video of this. It's not grainy. It's just sharp and clear, and it just, your detail and your background picks up good. It focuses good. I've never had a problem with it being out of focus. Probably one drawback on this, it doesn't have its built-in stabilizer, so if you got some rock or pitch and you're in the boat, or if you're walking with it, it is going to bounce around. It doesn't have a built-in stabilizer function that negates that. Like I said, this does have the built-in Wi-Fi. It comes with 2 different caps. These just unscrew, and you got the rest of the things for this camera are inside here. Your other cap has a longer piece right here that goes in this slot, and that's your Wi-Fi function for your Bluetooth. This camera also takes the micro SD card. This one does have HDMI plug-in, which is nice for transferring pictures, or you can even put them on, view them on your TV that way. It has the recharger port here for your battery charger. Now this also has the built-in battery. You cannot change this battery out. If the battery goes bad on it, the camera's bad. And that is a drawback on this. Right here it has a flip switch for HD or full HD, which is 720 or 1080, and it has a port to plug in for a external microphone jack. Or you can plug your microphone, the one I have, into this port here, into the charging port. You know, and with either one of these caps, with the Wi-Fi cap or just this regular cap, this is waterproof up to 10 meters, is what they claim. I haven't tried it underwater, don't want to, haven't had a reason to. Hate to ruin it. It does take good pictures, and I'm limited on money for cameras that I can use to shoot my YouTube videos, so I just do the best I can with what I have. And this camera, like I said, for 30 bucks has been a beautiful camera. The only, you know, probably if there was a con to this camera, there'd be two. One, it doesn't have a viewing window to see what you're setting up your shot or see what you're shooting. That obviously is a problem. I haven't seen it as much of a problem, to be honest with you, because this takes such a wide-angle picture that for what I'm doing with it, which is shooting YouTube videos or shooting outside scenes with it, you don't really need to set your shot up, because this takes it to wide angle. It's going to capture everything anyway from just a couple of 3 feet away. This like I said, the other con would be the fact there's not a built-in stabilizer on this. The pros of it are the wide angle. This has a long run battery. I've used this up to 3 hours and not run the battery down on it. I don't know what the battery extent. I think they said somewhere in the neighborhood of like 5.5 hours. I haven't tried it out that long, but I've went almost over 3 hours with it and not run the battery down. So the battery does have a long life on it. But overall, this, you know, if on a 1 to 10 scale, I'd give this camera about a 7 for the price of what I paid for it, which was like 30 bucks. I mean, this is 30 bucks. You cannot get a better camera than this, as far as I'm concerned, unless you were to get one with find one with a viewing window for that price, and you're not going to find it. So anyway, guys, I'm not going to make this too lengthy. That kind of reviews both of the cameras and gives you an idea of what I think of them and what they do. And you know, like I said, this Vivitar 786, I'm sure when they put this out, they were trying to put out their version of a cheap GoPro knockoff. My opinion is, if you're wanting a GoPro, don't go get this and think you're getting a good alternative. Spend the money and get yourself a GoPro. This does have its limitations, obviously, and you're paying 60 bucks for it. You know, it's kind of the old saying my dad used to say, you're getting what you pay for. And, you know, I was afraid of that on this one. I paid 30 bucks for it. I thought, man, I'm probably getting a $30 camera. Well, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I got a pretty decent camera for that I'm shooting most of my YouTube videos on this. Alright, guys, like I said, I'm not going to bore you too long, but that's the two cameras, the Ion Air Pro Series and the Vivitar 786 HD. 7 out of 10, 5 out of 10. And, you know, if I can think of anything else later on, I might make another video about it, but I think that gives you a pretty good idea of the pros and cons between the two of them, and kind of gives you an idea if you're thinking about buying one, or you know somebody that has one and you're thinking about getting one. If you watch this video, you kind of know what the deal is with it. I've used them, like I say, a couple months now, so I've gotten some good use time on them. And anyway, guys, I'm going to let you go. I'm not going to bore you and keep rambling on and talking here. So hope you guys all have a good afternoon. And this is the Ultimate Fishing Addict signing out. I'll catch you on the next one.